So you're a nerd. Don't try to deny it, you're amongst friends here. And what's 2 things that nerds love to do? Correcting normies on their history of DC Comics or Marvel Comics. And 2, showing other nerds their power level simply is higher. But physical merch is expensive. I mean, what do they expect? You to go out and get a job? Actually go outside like some sort of filthy casual? Well, Quidd actually circumvents all of this. I mean, if 3D women are overrated, then 3D merch is also overrated. With the Quidd app, you're able to collect and trade limited edition and super rare digital trading cards from some of your favorite fandoms and TV shows like Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, Star Trek, Breaking Bad, Five Nights at Freddy's, X-Files, and even Rick and Morty. Pretty much think the digital version of Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, or Duel Masters if you remember that card game. You can also swap cards as fast as you can send a text. It's instant. You can even get Funko figures. You know, that little brand that's pretty expensive, but you pay for what you get. Well, if you don't have the space or money to get that, you can get it in virtual space. I mean, your entire friends list is based in virtual reality, so you might as well make all your possessions virtual as well. You can even annoy the people that you text with sticker emojis that you can get from the app. So if you're as nerdy as me, and you probably are if you're on my channel, go ahead and check out this app. It's pretty cool and it's free, so don't get collecting. Was Flurry Heart a mistake? I know you read the title and I'm going to say yes. And the resounding lawsuit paid for the final 2 payments on the Crystal Empire Castle. I mean, how else are they gonna make money? What do you think their main export would be? Love? Sorry Hot Pink, but certain other sites have that market cornered already. Jokes aside, we're not asking if Flurry Heart's conception was a mistake. Obviously they didn't know she was going to be an alicorn because no woman would willingly give birth to a thing with that kind of wingspan, and don't even get me started about the horn. Though I guess she's a horse, so she's probably used to that kind of length. But we're more asking, is Flurry Heart's addition to the show a mistake? MLP is often accused of doing things simply to sell toys, and while there is no real proof of this, we can kind of infer this due to the fact that toys are made way before it's ever actually implemented into the show. I think Flurry Heart was there for years, and it was kind of a theory of, oh my god, they might be adding a baby alicorn, for years before, holy shit, they actually added a baby alicorn. Lauren Faust is probably spinning in her grave, because she had that whole thing of there only being 2 alicorns. Yeah, that didn't work out too well after you left. Maybe you shouldn't quit shows after a season. But this isn't just something that MLP does. This isn't a concept that they alone follow. In fact, almost every show Hasbro owns does this. This is just how they operate. They'll take a loss on the actual production of the show if they can make up the money through toy sales. If they're making profit overall, then they'll be okay. They're not even the only ones to do this. It goes all over the place, mainly with a lot of Japanese shows, but hey, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Beyblade, Ben 10, all of them have huge production budgets, and yet the actual return from TV ads aren't nearly enough to cover it, or at least to justify a company spending hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode. Companies have figured out that as long as they keep you buying the toys by making them centered in the show, they can recoup any kind of loss. They'd actually probably make more money if they're focusing on selling toys than if they were focusing on making money through ads. And as sleazy as that sounds on paper at first glance, it's relatively okay. Alright, so let's take it back to MLP, the place where I feel most comfortable talking. There are quite a few scenes that can be deemed as happening purely because they can make a toy out of it. The biggest one being Shining Armor. I admit it's pretty egregious, and most people, including smaller kids, were probably thrown for a loop when he first appeared. I mean, an older brother that hadn't bothered to call or write for so many years is bad enough. But then he randomly pops up and hey, he's married now. You've never met his girlfriend, but he's married, and apparently he's never told her mom or dad because they've never told her. But not only is he married, he's married to another alicorn princess. Yes, another princess you would think we would know about, but apparently we didn't. What kind of Korean drama bullshit is this? But at the end of the day, it didn't drastically change the quality of the show or the way the show worked. Yes, new characters were introduced, but none of them were part of the show in a way that changes the normal dynamic of the main characters in a negative way. This could have possibly been done in part to sell toys, but it may be the victim of the dreaded So much to do and not a lot of time to do it disease. This runs rampant in animations. You hear the show staff constantly complaining, if only we had more time. If only I had more time, I could have fleshed out this villain. If only we had more time, we could have used this concept. So much is cut and so much context they'll just simply gloss over in order to get to what they really want to show. To put in perspective, let's look at Fairly Odd Parents. They've added quite a few new people, such as the baby, and while it did change the dynamic of the show, it did make sense. Two people who are married will often have kids. The problem came when we look at their latest and last addition. The girl, this annoying little girl that no one really wanted or asked for, made the dynamic change to a degree that felt unnatural. It didn't feel like a natural progression over the years, but it felt like something that was forced into the show because of, well, it could have been for numerous reasons. They may have been playing gender politics. They may have thought that this would have raised the ratings. Whatever their reasoning was, it didn't feel natural. This show is now dead because of that. And the question that I'm really asking is, Flurry Heart a poof, or is she an annoying little girl? Is she an addition to the show that will hurt the show? And to that, I have to say no. For all the memes that we have about hating Flurry Heart, she won't actually change the core dynamic of the show. Hopefully. I don't see any room where they could actually even infringe on the normal dynamic of the cast, because we barely see Shining Armor or Cadence. They're kind of shuffled away into another land, and if that's how they're going to play it, so be it. Flurry Heart is there, but she doesn't actually change anything because we shouldn't have too much interaction with her, and we've seen that. What interactions have we had with her throughout the season? Not very many. And yes, the fandom was outraged, but the fandom isn't the target audience. Hasbro may throw us a bone here or there, but we are not who they're trying to sell toys to. Most of the stuff that we buy is illegal third-party material. And even if their core audiences were upset, they don't care. That's not to say that they don't care about their fans, because their fans are who are paying them. It's to say that they understand that humans hate change, and any change will breed controversy. We didn't like Twilight becoming an alicorn, but we got over it. Within a few weeks, people stopped complaining about Flurry Heart. This was so quickly dissolved that it was a non-issue. They realized that while we may be adverse to change at first, we'll become indifferent at worst as time goes on. So if you're asking me, is Flurry Heart a mistake? I'd say not really. It increased the show's revenue, and it possibly added to the story. We have yet to see how she's implemented, but it's there, and it won't negatively impact the cast interactions. But I kinda wanna know what you guys think. You guys know me by now. I give you what I think for a theory, and I'll give you all the reasons as to why I think that, but I ultimately want to have a conversation with you guys. Let me know what you think about Flurry Heart. As always, I've been Faither Moliminous. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Once again, we'd love to give a shout out to Quidd. Thank you again to our sponsors. Please be sure to support them. The link's down in the description and probably in my comment will direct you to a direct link to their